Toastmaster Raju Rao.
Yeah, am I audible? Okay, good. So, timer, you can start now. Good afternoon and good evening, Toastmasters and friends. Do you know my name? Is that a silly question? Am I being silly in asking you whether you all know my name? I know every one of you here, including possibly the guests. I'm asking you, but now let me share with you my slide, and you'll know why I'm saying that. Can you see this slide now? Yeah, you can. So that's my real name. That's my real name in my degree certificate, and also possibly in my marriage invitation. At least the last part. Long name. It can fill a passport. The only other name which possibly longer, which could not fill a passport, is Harihara Subramanian Venkatakrishnan. That's so long that even passport was not be able to fill up. But on this name part, I will come to you later, a bit later. Okay. Let me take you all to my journey to the US. I've been to the US plenty of times, and one of the journeys there, I happened to go to a conference, very well known conference, high level conference, and there were a lot of speakers there, and very well managed, premium people who are acting as MCs. And then he introduced a speaker. Let me introduce and paraphrase what he's saying. Let me introduce the next speaker for the evening, Anand Girdharadas. So I wondered what is this person's name. I looked around. This looks like an Indian name. This looks like a Desi. I looked around and waited for that person to come up to the podium. And there he was. He was very much an Indian. Then out of curiosity, I looked at the pamphlet which mentioned all the names, and I found his name was Anand. That's how he was pronounced. People introduced him, and mind you, it's a premium conference. People are expected to know the names, and this man is a well-known American writer. That's what happened to him. So that is the experience that there's from the American world. Let me go to a different setting. Around the same time, I was looking to watching the TV, and I found also, as I'm always interested in looking and hearing speeches of various people, and there was an introduction again by somebody closely related to BBC. The presenter said, the next speaker of the evening is a very important icon in India from the IT world. Let me introduce you to Narayana Murthy. Now I want to ask you all who that guy could be from India. Narayana Murthy, obviously. Now, how did he get the name twisted up like that? I couldn't understand. Then I realized in Britain, they have only one name, Murphy. So everything rhymes like the same thing. So they said Murfy is Murphy. Therefore, this must be also Murthy. And from then on, I started calling everything my own Indian version of Murphy's Law as Murthy's Law. Because there is some Indian version of that also, right? So that's the Brit version of that. So you find that Americans mispronounce, Brits will mispronounce, okay? And then I took a flight from US to India, to come back to India. And on the flight, as usual, I was listening to the music and all that, there was a sudden stop and there were some announcements. And somebody was announcing something, calling so-and-so, calling so-and-so, and it sounds like RR or something like that. And after some time, I got a bit curious. Why is this person again and again announcing? And I got to think. Then I found that person was mentioning Rio, welcoming Mr. Rio. And they also mentioned the seat number, 35F. I got up and said, I was about to argue with that person, saying my name is not Rio, Rao, Rao, and some law sound like that. That's the reason why I didn't even understand what she was saying. And then she gave us an upgrade to business class. Then I said, oh, that's nice. I shouldn't be arguing with them. And we went to business class. And that's how I traveled business class that particular for first time, I think, entire journey up to Mumbai. Came to Mumbai, was there for some time. One of my friends there, close colleague, his name, I remember his name even now, Gop Israni, Sindhi gentleman. He was telling me, oh, that guy there today in the evening, I met him. And he was a very, very jovial person. And I forget his name. He was from the south, he said. And then he went through his pamphlets, and then still couldn't recollect. Oh, I think I remember. I saw his name somewhere. I don't remember. His name is Chamar Jan. Now, you know, those of you who know Hindi, you understand what is Chamar. Chamar is a cobbler. It's not very a pleasant way of describing a person, because in social circles it's not considered very high up. And then I was wondering, who this South Indian guy with the name of Chamar Jan? I also went through the pamphlet, and they found the pamphlet. And his name was Chamarajan. So that's how the name got mispronounced. And interestingly, there are many, many instances I can quote like this, because it's become my pastime to look at names and how people pronounce and why they pronounce also. I do a lot of research on that, why they do it. And one other instance like this is how when Kanimori was having some problem, I think you know that probably, I think she spent some time in Tihar also. At that time, Rahul Bajaj, famous industrialist, had some words to say about her. And on the TV, he's talking about her Kanimozi. He pronounced the Z also. This is how we are writing it, Kanimozi instead of Kanimori. Right? So, a lot of instances you'll find that the name becomes a source of amusement, the way they pronounce it. Depends on where they come from. Okay. Then I started taking a flight from Mumbai to Chennai. And in that flight, I was very careful. Very closely I was listening. What is my name going to be called? Are they going to call my name for maybe another business class? Then I realized how stupid I am. These people who are in the flight attendants, everybody, including hostesses, they're all Indians. They know the name Rao very well. They will not make a mistake. And furthermore, in Indigo, there is no business class. Okay, so they came back to Chennai. And in Chennai, what happened in Chennai? Let me share the screen now for you. This is a common thing which many of you are aware of. How Prime Minister Modi is pronounced. So I've actually written down in Hindi, in Tamil, in English. It's supposed to be Modi with an H. Unfortunately, people don't write an H there at all in the north side. And therefore, sometimes it can be confusing whether it is a Modi or the Modi. And interestingly, in Tamil, even the Tamil version, they made it Modi when it actually should be Modi. Even Venkaiah Naidu is a South Indian, Telugu speaking, who is the vice president, says only as Modi and not as Modi, because In fact, he should be knowing better. He was the president of the BJP, I think, and very close to all those people. He should know the right pronunciation, but he will keep saying Modi instead of Modi. So you find that there is a kind of a interesting observation, depending on where you come from, depending on what language you're used to, you end up pronouncing and spelling people in different ways. And it's very amusing. I find it as a source of amusement, and it has become my pastime. And most common pastime for me to catch up these things and send it to my family members. And my son and I have always a joke about this. How are these people pronouncing? I'll catch up of that, and then we have a quick laugh about it. So in Chennai, coming back now to the original slide I spoke about, or rather showed that slide. This is my name, my original name. Well, you can understand. Not, I don't know where it came from. Narsingh was the name given to me, and Rao is my surname. Okay. And it so happened that after I came back after a few months, I had to go to the ration office. I had to go to the ration office to check on something, update my ration card or something like that. And I went there a little bit late. It was nearly closing time. Only that particular clerk was there. Nobody else was there. But luckily he said, no problem, come, I will finish your case. And he asked me my name. So I said, okay, well, you're not Narsingh Rao. He wrote down, and I was speaking like that. See what he's writing, crane my neck. And I found that in Tamil he has written Vellur. Whatever is talking to me was talking in Tamil, but I'm just translating this in English. Vellur is written properly. And then I think he got hold of that Rao also clearly. He wrote some Rao, and I found him left some space there. He was not very clear about what to write. So again he asked me, what's your name? I repeated, Vellur, not Narsingh Rao. He looked at me, okay, it's not Narsingh Rao. Then what Rao is it? I didn't understand that. Again, I told him, my name is Vellur, not Narsingh Rao. I told you. He was puzzled. What Rao is it? I said, Narsingh Rao. But just now you said it's not Narsingh Rao. And again, you're saying that. Then he told me, please write. Then I told him, I'll write it down for you. Unfortunately, I didn't carry my pen. And because of that, I asked for a pen. He gave me a refill. When he showed the refill like this and did like this and said, the ink is over here. I don't have anything else. There's nobody else in the office. So neither I could write down and show him. And in those days, there was no smartphone and all that. You couldn't write down and show it and all that. It was impossible. So I was stuck. Got to keep repeating this name again and again. And if it is not Narsingh Rao, he listed all the other Raos, Sadashi Rao, and this Rao, that Rao. What Rao is it? Then finally, there's one bloke who came and he had a pen. With the help of pen, I solved the problem. I wrote it down and showed him. And then he said, oh, you should have told me first. Why did you trouble me so much? And finally, we got the job done. Now, here in my name, I can understand the first one. It's the name, place where you come from. Most of you would be having your name as Indians, the name of the village you come from. That's what it is. First, last two names, one is my name, another is my surname. That's all you understand. But what is this NOTT? I've never, for ages, I've tried to find out about this, what that thing is. We never could understand. And many of my cousins and relatives and so many people all are having it. And now you're curious to know why I changed my name. It's exactly because of this. People used to mess it up. Not only this, the word nursing, if you go to the north side, they will add an H and call it nursing like Manmohan Singh. If you go to south side, they will be generous with all the A's in it. They'll add A after N R, they'll add A after G, and probably some more A's also they will add. And that's just, and they'll take their own spellings. So I said, I had enough of it, and I chose a name which my mother used to call me. It's a tribute to my mother also. She liked the name. She didn't like this nursing also. She gave that name, and I said, I'll call that. This is, I changed my name completely when I went to Dubai. And I'm very happy that then that name is some name which everybody is able to pronounce easily. Most Indians know what it is. You call Raju in a crowd of 10,000 people, at least 1,000 people will turn their head. Very common name. Plus, it has got added advantage that most tea boys are Rajus. One day, I can also become Prime Minister. At least have the qualities to be a Prime Minister of the country. So this is the advantage, and I liked it. I'm quite happy about the whole thing, about how the name went on. That's about the name. So let me talk about this thing. Jokes apart, of course, I had a lot of fun looking at names and laughing about it and seeing different pronunciations and the way they pronounce, whether it's a Brit thing, an American thing, it's a North thing, a South thing. Different people have different ways of pronouncing. Okay, but look at the whole thing. When you talk about a name is a unique thing to somebody. It's something which belongs to you. So one has to give that little extra amount of respect to a person to identify how that person wants to be called, how that person's name should be spelled. And that extra effort is, I feel very sad that around the world, in spite of being the best, let me say, the most qualified people, or even the most educated people, they miss out on this particular aspect. They don't take that extra pain to find out how do you call somebody's name. It doesn't take much time, but they don't do it. It's a source of the identity. If you are called by some other name, you don't like it. Most people don't like it. Some people probably just gloss it over, saying, okay, this is how it is. And therefore, one has to be sensitive to it. We have to be sensitive to the fact that a name is important to a person. Nelson Mandela said that if you want to talk to somebody in that language, you reach their heart. I go one step further. Make sure you pronounce and mention the name the correct way, the way it should be done. Take pains to find out how it is. It's a very emotional issue. We have to take pains for that, and I'm sorry to find that many people are not looking at that angle. They should be doing it. I do it routinely, especially with names which I've not heard for the first time. I've not heard it at all. Then it's very easy nowadays to do it. All you have to do is Google. You just Google it and you'll know. For example, let's try the name which I have mentioned there, Niamh. It's an Irish name. And the reason why I did it, I had a colleague in one of my consulting assignments who was going to give a training on that, and I need to know how to address her. Okay, so take out your phones, Google Niamh pronunciation, and see what it will get. You'll get three options. You'll get Indian English, you'll get British English, and you'll get American English. Is anybody able to do it? And tell me the result.
Is it Neve? That's how it shows in Google.
Exactly. And I was very surprised to find out. It happened last week to me only. Last week, that person she's from Dell. She was giving a training, or where I was in that group, I was working as a consultant. and had to refer to her. And I was actually as an observer there, I had gone to that for the meeting, and I should know how to pronounce. I can't be pronouncing as some other one. It's very surprising. But a good part is that Google has made it so simple for us to learn how to pronounce. Any name you check up, you can pronounce it. So that's what I would recommend everybody. If you know the name, good enough. Otherwise, please Google and check it out. 90% to 95% of them, what the Google says is correct. Of course, sometimes they're wrong as well. Okay. So this is what I hope you had a good time. I entertained you with a lot of names, as I always get entertained by all these funny names being mispronounced, and also has probably induced you to look into the names part a little bit more carefully, right? And let me leave you out with the final part here, this cartoon. Going forward, if I have to change my name, I changed my name about 10 years back to Raju from nursing. That's the name in the passport. If I have to change my name now, my name would be probably what I would get is Raju _123.